Congratulations on a theme today as twins. Next story sounds completely unbelievable. Identical twins who married identical twins. And there is so much more than that. Roll it.
I'm Diane Sanders.
And I'm Darlene Sanders.
We're identical twins. We married identical twins, and I have identical twins.
We met Mark and Craig at a twins convention in Twinsburg, Ohio. It's an annual convention.
Diane was standing on the right and Darlene was standing on the left, and I was instantly attracted to Diane. Why are you shaking your head?
I couldn't tell them apart right away.
We had a double wedding, and Darlene and I decided that we wanted to wear the same dress.
And then our dad walked us both down the aisle at the same time.
Well, these are our homes. We decided when we built the homes that we would just take out any fence between the two yards and just make it one big backyard.
The relationship itself of the pair of twins married to twins is pretty unique. I mean, there aren't that many of them in the United States that we know of. And then when you throw in a third set of twins among the kids, that makes it even more unusual. But it's kind of become second nature to me.
But, you know, when you get down to the bottom line, this is just two normal families who happen to be close to one another.
Welcome, Mark and Darlene, Diane and Craig. So, how do you guys end up meeting?
We met at a twin convention in Twinsburg, Ohio. Diane and I were down in the lobby, and we were talking to some other set of twins that we weren't really that into, so we were hoping to get saved, and along came Mark.
So when you say we weren't that into, is part of that going like you would go to any other event? Maybe I'll meet somebody that I'll like?
Sure, there's some people that go for that, but that wasn't the reason that we had went. Darlene and I had been before. We had family that lived near there. And then once you go once, it's kind of like a reunion. You go back and you see a lot of the same twins.
Mark, were you and your brother going there simply to meet other twins, or were you thinking maybe there'll be some hot twins? And
Well, it's always in the back of your mind. You can't lie and say no. What was funny is when we first met him, we were working a little bit on that trip. We had some work to do, and Craig was back in the hotel room at that point. So the first time we met him, it was just me with the two of them, and they were probably thinking, you know, who's this single guy crashing the twins party? So I actually said, no, I am a twin, you know, and I went back to the hotel room, and I got my brother Craig and brought him out just to prove that I was two people.
Craig, was there instant attraction? Did you know?
Yeah, I mean, I remember Mark came up and said, hey, you gotta go meet these two girls, really neat and cute. And when I went down there, I was instantly attracted to the one who was standing on the right. I remember she was right there, and I deliberately went to that side so I could talk to her, and that was Diane.
Well, you know what's funny is that you say instantly attracted to identical twins.
Right. I mean, I don't know what it was. I mean, obviously they looked alike. But there was just something that had that personality that I could tell them apart right away.
And is that true? Is that true even for twins, that we might look at you guys and say, well, I'm not sure which one's which one? You can look at other twins and say, oh, I know all their differences.
No, that was the first time Diane and I went to a twin convention. It was interesting because we saw a set of twins like, oh my goodness, you guys look so much alike. And they're like, no, we don't think we look anything alike, which is how we don't think we look anything alike.
Right.
Because we know our obvious differences.
Right. Well, and everybody always wonders with twins is if it's a guy dating a girl who has a twin sister, you wonder if they're going to play a joke. But now you have multiple options here where you can divide and conquer. So was there ever any messing around?
No.
I don't mean messing around.
No, definitely not.
So there's never any temptation even early on to say, you go down and let's...
No, I mean, I think in each case, it was the older twin ended up dating and then eventually marrying the younger twin. And I think their personalities are really different. The older twin, in our cases, were a little bit more aggressive, and the younger one was ready.
Yeah, and they say opposites attract, so I could never marry Diane.
Those would not
happen.
Well, now, did you guys dress like this for us?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't normally...
No.
Oh, you're even uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, when this happened, she said, we're going to go out and buy clothes. So Diane went out and bought me something with Darlene so she could buy something for Mark. This is brand new. We would never do this.
So this story gets better.
When we go to the twin convention, we dress alike.
Well,
Everyone dresses alike.
It's just part of the fun.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the only time we do it.
But this story doesn't end here. You don't meet you both marry.
Right.
You end up meeting at the same time. They end up marrying each other. And when it comes time to propose, the rings are the same.
Yes,
Yes.
the rings are identical.
Now, why is that?
Well, we didn't want to get different rings because we didn't want them to compare it to each other and have their friends compare it and say, wow, why was her ring twice as big as hers?
And
Very smart.
And we proposed at the same time too, because it was the same thing. It was always kind of dating together, and we didn't want one of us to propose and immediately the one we were proposing to think, well, what's happening to my sister? Is she also going to be proposed to? Because we thought that might affect her answer.
So, Darlene, what's it like when you get one of the biggest moments in your life is a proposal, and it's happening with your sister and her now boyfriend, fiance? It's all happening at once.
Well, we've shared everything together. We've had all our classes together, all the same friends. We even worked together at the time. So it's normal for
natural.
us, to share things. So,
So
we didn't think anything of it.
You would think at this point it would come to the wedding and they say, okay, now we're gonna have separate weddings. Let's be sane about this. No.
Well, it's cheaper for our parents because
One wedding. We're gonna invite all the same people, might as well do it together.
So you get married together. There we are, looking at it. Does that take any of the specialness away?
I didn't think that
Think
it
so?
took anything away. I think it probably added something more for our day because we were able to share that day also.
Okay, once again, we could end the story here. Glad we're married together. You guys have a house. We'll get together every so often. No, you guys are neighbors with a shared backyard. How does this come? Is this part of the plan or did it just evolve?
Well, we happened to realize there was a place in Houston. We lived down in Houston, and we wanted to live down in a new neighborhood that had a lot of land, that had a lot of lots to choose from. And it just seemed to make sense. Darlene and Diane are incredibly close. Craig and I are not as close as they are. We fight. We lived apart for 6 years. But they are incredibly close. They've been together their whole lives. And we just felt like being next door would really help the two families.
And they wanted to even like put in a walkie-talkie system between the two homes. We said we don't need that.
Well, no, you're next door.
Yeah, we can look out the window and see them.
And then the kicker to this story is, which couple had the twins?
That would be us.
Yes.
They have twins who are here today, also dressed alike. Colby and Brady. So guys, what do you make of this? You can't have very many friends that have this similar situation.
No.
No. So does that make you special in a way that people always want to hear your story?
Yes. And
Yeah.
it gets annoying too after a while.
Yeah. Do you like being twins?
Sometimes. It has ups and downs.
What's the one biggest drag about having a twin?
We have the same presents every year for Christmas.
You got to work on that, Mom and Dad. By the way, Colby and Brady, two of the most popular survivors ever. You're named after good people. Did you name them after survivors?
No, actually, though, we were pregnant with them when Colby won that year.
You're named after Colby. Don't let your mom lie.
He picked out the name Colby, and then when you all had the show, and I saw that Colby, I'm like, yeah, sure, we can name him
Wow.
that.
I sort of remember he was a handsome guy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, a little bit. Both of them were. FBI agent and, like a farmer guy. The psychic twins. If you really can read my mind, this is going to be uncomfortable.
You have no secrets.
Oh, I've got some secrets. 3 different stories about twins. You're both gay, both sharing the same secret. Within all of this is Dolly Parton.
We always felt an acceptance from her.
Identical twins who marry identical twins. When it comes time to propose, the rings are the same.
And we proposed at the same time too.
What's up? Hello, hello. Roll it. All right, a little about me. I'm recently married. I work with my wife on this show, and I'm learning how to be a dad to 2 amazing kids in a blended family. I'm hosting a talk show because there's a lot to talk about. This is The Adventure.
Let's go.
Variations on a theme today, twins. 3 different stories about twins. We have guy twins, we have girl twins. We have guy twins who married girl twins and had twin babies, but they all have very different stories. This set of twins not only look alike, they also share their obsession with Dolly Parton, of course. Roll it. Twin brothers Gary and Larry had a dream to write a movie script for their lifelong inspiration, Dolly Parton. So they went where all aspiring screenwriters go, to Hollywood. They left behind a family that couldn't accept them as they are.
My mom, she just like in a real soft voice, and she said, all I want you to do is put your hand on the Bible and tell me you're not gay. I was like, we can't do that because we are gay. And so then she kind of, you're not gay, denial, and locked herself in her room.
After about 10 years, they finished their screenplay, hopped into an RV, and hit the road.
We are heading out to Dollywood from Hollywood. We've planned a whole trip. We've rented an RV to hand her the script. That's our dream. That's what we want to make happen.
You know, we've got 3 chances in the park to meet her. The first one in the morning by the fountain.
Whoa, that was amazing.
Okay, give me the script, Okay, go. And then the second one is at the Celebrity Theater.
I think you lost your government. You think I'm throwing that script on that stage.
And then the last chance, if we don't get either of those two.
Aren't you nervous?
I am. Come 8 states, 2,200 miles for this moment. This is it, boys.
Suck it up. Do it. You get one shot.
1, 2, 3,
one-shot deal.
Just remember to breathe and talk slow.
10 years in the making. It all hinges on this moment. Would they meet their idol, Dolly Parton, and get her their script? Roll it.
There you go. And it's all about full circle, and it's a thing that we wrote for you, and which we love you so much. And we had this made for you. Thank you for remembering us. And we traveled all the way from Hollywood to Dollywood to meet you, and we thank you. We came from Hollywood, California, on an RV that we named Jolene.
Did you?
We drove all the way.
Can you see it?
Yeah, perfect.
All the way from Hollywood to Dollywood.
That was amazing. I can't even think. I'm like so nervous right now.
I love that as we were watching that piece, the audience broke into applause when you got the script there.
Yes.
So let's go back to the start.
Okay.
So where does this whole idea begin?
We actually, we always grew up with her, but then we started writing the script, and it kept getting better. It kept, coming around. We actually finished it, sent it to her managers. They send it back unsolicited,
So
unopened.
they never opened it.
You can't send anything like that without them soliciting it first, so we found that out. And then
So you get this dream is now dashed. They didn't even,
yeah,
they
it
didn't
was
even
very
open
hard.
it.
Yeah, and
Right.
we wrote it for like 5 years, literally. So that was very hard. But then we knew the 25th anniversary.
We're
of the
from
park.
North Carolina, so she always opens Dollywood, her theme park. She always comes in April, and she has a big opening. I was like, well, we've been really close to her, and we've met her before on the park. Why don't we just go there and hand it to her in person?
We always make a joke with our family, like, how did they not know that we're gay? Because we always got one trip, and it came down to Disney World or Dollywood. We've been to Dollywood like 8 times and
we've never been to Disney
World.
What is it about Dolly Parton, Cher, Madonna, Lady Gaga, that there's such a gay following? Is it the acceptance?
Well, the one thing with Dolly that we always remember, when she was on the television or interviews, they would always ask her. I mean, even when we were little, we remember they'd ask her about her gay fans, and she would always say, well, I believe everybody is born as they are, and you're not supposed to judge people. So we always felt an acceptance from her. So really doing the movie and writing it was a tribute to her for what she meant to us.
And then you...
Thank you.
Let's stay with that story for a moment. So when do you know you're gay?
We knew like maybe 11 or 12 years old, but it was just hard because we're Southern Baptists in the heart of North Carolina. So everybody will laugh, but our first story that, our dad was not the religious one. So he's like, well, this is going to kind of be my birds and the bees moment. He's like, we're going to watch this movie called The Blue Lagoon. And he kept saying,
that one backfired.
He kept saying, this is Brooke Shields, this is Brooke
We're like,
Shields.
who's
and I
that?
don't remember
We
her
were
at all.
looking-
So that's kind of when I first knew, that's when I knew something was up. So.
Christopher Atkins.
Yeah,
Yes,
Christopher
Christopher
Atkins.
So now, but you're both gay. Do
Yes.
you discover this at the same time?
Well, when we were younger, we remember in church, the preacher, you're going to burn in hell, and we always heard that. So the one I was closest to him, so I put up more of a wall here because I didn't want him to find out about me and turn his back. So we kind of guarded each other more, so we found out a couple of years later.
So you're both sharing the same secret.
Yes,
And not
telling the other
anyone.
one.
And when does that finally break down, that wall?
Take that one.
I'll take that one. we were on our senior trip, and it was a cruise, so we're kind of running around the track at the top of the ship. So there's these 3 guys like off to the side, and we have to kind of see if, for one, they're given the twin look or if they're given the look. So they were given the look. So this one was just kind of talking
What
to him.
is the look?
Well,
It's
you know,
just kind of like if you were flirting with somebody, you kind of give a
Yeah,
nod.
you
So
just
we
kinda-
noticed each other doing it at the same time,
yeah, but
and it clicked.
sometimes
I
it's
was like-
because they notice that we're twins, so you can't like overstep that before you know what's
Okay.
going on. But anyway, so then he was talking, and I was kind of back here, and I was kind of making like a smile and being kind of like a 17-year-old kid, and he turned and saw my face,
And it clicked,
and
we
he knew
realized.
what I was kind of doing, and then we kind of went down to our room. We sat in the dark for 30 minutes, and I said, I'm gay, and then he said, I'm gay, and then we talked for like 4 hours.
And then we were mad because we didn't get to go through the high school, kind of the awkward fat
we were
years.
the fat years and the gay years, and because we
didn't
couldn't
have each
tell
other, we coulda went through it together.
We could have had like a support system.
So that I understand that story, you watched him spotting another guy.
Well, I saw the same face that I would have made if I'd have been flirting, and it clicked. I was like, shoot.
The guy kept looking past Larry, and Larry's like, what the hell is he looking at? When he turned, I was kind of making a look at the guy.
And at the same time, you're thinking, oh my God, I hope he didn't see that. And you're thinking, I think he's like me.
And
It
then we
freaked us
told each other.
It freaked us out at first. We didn't talk for about 30 minutes. We just kind of sat there, and then we
But
kind
you
of
kind of have to understand, like, we would go to church 2 times on Sunday, once on Wednesday. You have your preacher that you grew up with, your preacher that baptized you, telling you homosexuals are going to burn in hell. So it's very hard to process when you're 13, 14, you know, whatever. So,
And then within all of this is this beacon, Dolly Parton. Dollywood. She supports gays. She's a place we can go. We're safe.
And that we always will give her props, because in the 80s when we were growing up and Islands in the Stream came out and we would see her on interviews, a lot of people would not embrace their gay fans, and she always would say, I love everybody, no one should be judged, everyone should be allowed to be who they are. And we would see her on, you know, whatever she was on, Donahue, and it just resonated as we were growing up, and we kind of built like this acceptance that we got from her.
It's huge, the impact on their life, right? That this one performer out there saying acceptance was actually more impactful than your own parents because of the safety.
Well, see, we didn't have the acceptance at home, and we knew that because of their religion. Our dad wasn't as much, but we knew we weren't getting that from our mom, so in a way we kind of turned to her. And we even said in the documentary, we were like, I felt like if she knew about us, she would accept us.
So there's one missing piece left in this puzzle, your mom.
Yes.
Your mom was not accepting of this. Has this adventure changed her? Has she come around? Variations on a theme, talking about twins today, Hollywood to Dollywood.
Yes.
So you're making this documentary, and you're trying to get a script to Dolly Parton, and you finally get there, and you have this moment, which we saw a little taste of. Everything is building to this. What happened in that moment?
Honestly, we were glad the cameras were there, because we didn't remember a lot of what we said to her in the moment, because it was just kind of like one of those
And
things.
even right up until the moment, her people came over and said, you know, she might ride by and just wave at you. She might stop for 30 seconds. We still didn't know what we really had there.
So you had told them, this is the deal.
We had to get permission to film on the part. We had to get that cleared, but then you have, like, it was the 25th anniversary of Dollywood, so the Hallmark Channel was filming there.
A lot of stuff
The
was
Travel
filming.
Channel, so she knew we were all there, but it's her discretion what she does.
We still had no promise, even driving all the way there, that we'd ever get to meet her.
Okay, so you get up there, you're 2 feet away. What happened?
And we just said, you know, we just wanted you to know you've had such an impact on our life, and we really just appreciate everything you meant to us growing up. And we wrote this, we've written 4 screenplays, but this was one we've really invested and wrote a part just for her. So we wanted her to have that, and she was amazing, and she's still been amazing. We have 17 of her songs in the movie, including like I Will Always Love You, Jolene. She cleared all of that. So we've got all of that. We've got her image.
Which I will say, because it's a very sort of inside baseball comment, it is a gigantic thing when a musical artist agrees to let you use their music in your movie for free.
Especially
that doesn't happen.
Not quite for free.
But it was a
not
great
quite
deal.
for free. We still had to pay for some of the songs, but she even let us have 2 unreleased songs, which is amazing to us. It was such a compliment.
But really, the documentary was just going to be kind of us with our friend John Lavin, who was the director, just to kind of go cross country and have fun. But then we kind of tell our story, and audiences started, you know, relating to it, and we ended up in 60 festivals.
Let's get into that a little more. When you say you begin to tell your story, in this documentary, it became more than just getting a script to Dolly Parton,
Yes.
which isn't that interesting to most people.
Right.
What's interesting about you guys, I think, is the connection to Dolly was seminal in your life,
Yes.
in coming out. And so in the documentary, do you detail this about what it's like to be two young gay guys coming out and all of that?
Not initially when we had it planned out, it was about the script, but then the first couple we meet, and in the movie they're called the friendly couple. It's just this little couple at a truck stop, and they ask if they can say a prayer, like a prayer circle as we go on our journey. They were just really genuine, nice people. And when we met them, my partner Mike, who I've been with for 6 years, was with us, and I didn't open up and tell them that he was my boyfriend. So after they signed the release, we felt like we had misled them because we were not truthful with them about everything the documentary was. And so I've reached out to her and sent her the movie. She's amazing, the people that signed the release. But after that moment, we said, you know, we've got to be true to who we are. And we knew it was going to be hard in North Carolina because, like, our local paper will write, you know, the Twins did a movie with Adam Sandler, the Twins won Wipeout, you know, but then this is the thing where we're actually being true to who we are and not being, you know, hiding back from the gay thing. This was going to really make waves in North Carolina, and we knew it.
So a movie that starts in this direction takes a big turn and says, we're going to be honest, that in addition to being filmmakers, we're gay.
Yes.
And we want people to know that's part of our story. But what's great about this is then the movie begins to blossom, right? The story becomes more rich. Once you discover your truth in it, everything changed. What do you take from that?
I think my take, a really good friend of ours, we've been friends with her forever, her name is Beth, and she grew up with us, and we showed her this movie early on before we ever put it out to the film festivals, and she watched it, and she got really emotional, and she said, you know, you guys have worked on all these movies, you've done commercials, you've done all this stuff, but she had tears. She said, this is going to be what you make your mark and what you're known for because it's the first time you've been true to who you really are.
And you're gonna bring change. And we've had people in festivals at the question and answers literally in tears after they watch it because they relate to it. And one lady couldn't even talk to us. She literally just said, you're gonna save lives with this, just for being
people
true.
that wrote us and said, I made my parents watch your DVD and then I came out to them. So when you get things like that, you know you did the right thing. You did the right thing.
Thank you.
So there's one missing piece left in this puzzle, your mom.
Yes.
Your mom was not accepting of this. Has this adventure changed her? Has she come around?
Well, one line that we say in the movie is there's 7 people in North Carolina that we care about. That's our mom, our dad, our brother, his wife, our niece, our nephew, and our grandmother. So long as those 7 people don't turn their back on us, we could care less about any of the rest of them. So that's the line that we say. But as far as our mom, she knows about the movie. She knows that Dolly has given us the music and everything, but because of her religion, she feels like if she watches it or has anything to do with it, then she's condoning it. So we look at it as you only get one mom. She's known for 12 years about us. She hasn't turned her back on us. We talk to our mom every day.
So when we go to North Carolina, it's kind of like they don't want to hear about it, so we don't really talk about it, but it's like 2 separate lives, but we don't push the envelope there.
And it's hard because we're proud of the movie, we're proud of what it's done, but you also have your family tied in that are still in that town with the people we went to church with, the
So
people
we've gotta think.
So we struggled with it for a long time. And I had my partner, Mike, on the trip with us, and I've been with him for 6 years, and you know, he's been a support system, but they don't know anything about him, and he's been in my life for 6 years. So that kind of tells you how hard it is.
So on one hand, people are applauding you for coming out,
Yes.
and on the other, family is abandoning you in some ways.
In some ways, yes.
Well, change only comes from people speaking up. I applaud you guys for speaking up and sharing your story. The movie was released in November. You can get more information at jeffprobst.com. It's Hollywood to Dollywood. Awesome job, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Congrats. That's fantastic.
I'm Diane Sanders.
And I'm Darlene Sanders.
We're identical twins. We married identical twins, and I have identical twins.
Closed captioning for the Jeff Probst Show provided by Variations on a theme today is twins. Next story sounds completely unbelievable. Identical twins who married identical twins. And there is so much more than that. Roll it.
I'm Diane Sanders.
And I'm Darlene Sanders.
We're identical twins. We married identical twins, and I have identical twins.
We met Mark and Craig at a twins convention in Twinsburg, Ohio. It's an annual convention.
Diane was standing on the right and Darlene was standing on the left, and I was instantly attracted to Diane. Why are you shaking your head?
I couldn't tell them apart right away.
We had a double wedding, and Darlene and I decided that we wanted to wear the same dress.
And then our dad walked us both down the aisle at the same time.
Well, these are our homes. We decided when we built the homes that we would just take out any fence between the two yards and just make a